Okay, all right. Well, that's good. That seems like it's working today. So I'm thankful for technology. All right. So of course, if you were here Monday, we did a Tonglen meditation for the people of Ukraine, really the people of the world as well. And I came across this quote today, and I apologize, I have no source for it. Someone sent this to me, and there was no source, and I tried to look it up, and I couldn't find. So, if you're anything like me, if you have the challenge and strength of being an empath, sometimes it can be difficult to not get overwhelmed by the challenges that are all around us. This quote, I think, says it so well. This, my dear, is the greatest challenge of being alive: to witness the injustice of the world and not allow it to consume our light. Not allow it to consume our light. So close your eyes for a moment and think about ways in which perhaps you do allow some of the challenges that come into the world to kind of dim you. And what can we do to strengthen our capacity to be a light in the world? So our practice is one, just being here in the presence of your mind and body is one of the ways that we can strengthen our light. So let's drop into the body and feel the weight of you connected to the earth. Feel that you belong to the earth. So allow yourself to get a little heavier. And when you drop into that weight, see if you can drop a little bit of your stress, a little bit of what you're carrying, drop that as well. You can just drop it right into the earth. And from that support, allow yourself to rise, to become a little more buoyant. Try not to push so hard, just create a sense of freedom and buoyancy, like you are a buoy bobbing on some water, or the way you feel when your lungs are full and you're floating, the sense of buoyancy. So have both the grounded and the free. Come into the feeling of your breath. That sense of expansion on the inhale. The sense of dropping a little something, whatever you can let go of, on the exhale. Now feel into your heart center just a bit and puff it up like bird feathers. See if you can get a little more stoutness, expansiveness in the heart space. Try to open the heart without compressing the back ribs, without compressing the spine or the shoulder blades. See if you can allow the expansion you feel in your chest to expand to the back as well. Feel open across your collarbones. Imagine your shoulder blades just drifting downward like there's little weights, dropping them down. Arms are free. Just notice for yourself, when you feel your light dim, what shape does your body take when that happens? What thoughts do your mind shape when that happens? And let's just see if we can keep ourselves clear and free. Place your hands together at your heart and bow into your practice. Cultivate an intention for yourself. What do you need today? Let's relax our hands and come onto our back. All right, so as you stretch out on your mat, enjoy. This is your time right now, so Anything I suggest is just that. It's just a suggestion. You can just lay down and breathe the whole time if you want to. Whatever is going to nourish your capacity to stoke your inner light and keep it aflame. All right, so stretch through your body. If it feels good, reach one side, reach the other side. Feel that sense of waking, of enlivening. Maybe stretch one heel away and then stretch the other heel. Let your pelvis kind of go offline, one side higher than the other, and then switch. And then bring your arms straight out to a T, right from your sternum, and stretch through your fingertips. Lift up your shoulders, drop them down the back a little bit, then stretch again, and just notice, where do you feel this? Do you feel it in your wrists, or your hands, or your forearms, or your chest, or your shoulders? And then reach your arms up overhead, and same thing, where do you feel this? Can you notice that there's already a back bend living just by bringing your arms over your head? Feel the shape that your thoracic spine takes. And now cactus the arms and have your palms open. See if the backs of your hands can rest on the floor. And if not, if the back of your hands don't rest, this is a clue to you that you're a little tight in your pec minor and your subscap, some of the muscles that kind of forward flex you. All right, so let's breathe here and just melt the shoulders. And then relax your arms down to your sides and bring your knees into your chest. And now let's kind of feel into the lower portion of your spine. Feel your low back. Feel free to rock a little bit. Feel free to circle the knees a little bit. So whatever kind of movement's going to help you nourish and wake up and enjoy a sense of freedom and ease across your low back and your sacrum. And then let's open the knees away from each other and then bring the knees back in toward each other, finding that sense of awareness in your hip joints now. And right knee into the chest, stretch your left leg long on the floor. Feel the rolling around in your ankles. Feel the feet wiggle a little bit. See if you can wake up your feet. Give a good squeeze to the hip. Change sides when you're ready. Squeeze the left knee in. Keep moving your toes and ankles if you want to. How's the breath? All right, two knees come back in. And then let's open to a star. Spread your limbs wide. Reach into your fingertips and wiggle them. Reach into your toes and wiggle them. Exhale. Knees drawing the chest up. And let's do it one more time. Expand your body out. Exhale. Draw your body in. Put your feet on the floor. Arms out to the sides again. And just rock left and right. Let's twist a little bit here. Waking up different parts of your body. So as your knees go right, you can stretch the left arm away, maybe even turn the head. Just see what feels good. Let's go ahead and roll right over onto our side and come up onto our hands and our knees. Ground your hands. So let's try to have this balance today of feeling both weighted, supported, grounded, but also free, able to stay open. Okay, so notice the difference between yielding and collapsing. See if you can support yourself, let the ground support you as you move through some cat-cows without falling, collapsing, locking joints. Stay in the dynamic nature of alignment where you're having energy flow from the earth through your body instead of just kind of getting locked up. All right, so enjoy the spine moving. All right, let's roll around through your rib cage, through your pelvis, just any kind of movement that feels good. If you were in class yesterday when we did the splits, I'm so sorry, I couldn't record the class, but I'm a little teeny bit sore from it, so I'm wondering if anybody else is. All right, so drop down, see if you can settle into
your child's pose now. Feel the weight of your hips drop into your heels. Walk the hands forward. Relax the base of the skull. Deep breaths here. Feel the back body open up. Walk the hands over to the right side of the mat. Feel some weight drop into the hips again, or perhaps you like to have your hips high. So different stretches happen. But focus on what's happening in your shoulder through to your pelvis. Find the side body opening and breathe into the space. Oftentimes when we feel our light dimming, one of the first things that happen is our breath shallows up and changes. So just notice the space for breath. Walk your hands over to the other side and give yourself room to breathe. Open the rib cage. Feel how bouncy your ribs are. They're so mobile. And then come back to center. Come up onto all fours again. And we're going to do some rib cage rolling here. And maybe not the way you think. So we're going to walk our rib cage all the way over to the left and then down toward the floor and then all the way over to the right and then up toward the sky. So, rib cage rolls where we're making a circle. Feel like your crown to your tail is inside a cylinder, like a paper towel roll, and your ribs are trying to touch all the edges of the roll. And then change directions and move your rib cage the other way. See if you can touch the whole inside of the cylinder that your torso is in. How is the yielding while you're doing this? Are you locked out? Are you free? All right, a cat-cow. And then we're going to walk the hands forward so our hips stay high here. Puppy pose. Drop the chest toward the floor, but lift up to the armpits so you have some counterweight to the pose. We're not just collapsing down toward the floor. We don't want to strain our shoulder joints. So see if you can have a little lift under the armpits as your thoracic spine melts toward the floor. Perhaps your head rests on the floor or on the block. Thigh bones back, sit bones high. And then come out of there and walk your hands back and come back onto all fours. Find your way up to dog pose. Okay, so let's open up the full body here. Let the backs of your legs open. Feel free to pedal your feet. You can bend one knee. You can sway a hip. Just let the body open. Breathing well. Perhaps you want your feet wider apart. Perhaps you want your feet closer. Just experiment with what feels nice to your body. As you're ready, come into Uttanasana. Walk your feet forward, spread out the bones of your feet, bend your knees, relax your head, wobbling around. You're close to your feet, so take a look at them. Spread the bones, root the big toe mounds, the pinky toe mounds, see if you can feel the heels ground. And then as your bones drop, lift the arches up and lift all the way up to the groin. Relax your neck. Inhale for a halfway lift. The spine is getting longer. Thigh bones stay moving back, sit bones wide. Stretch the backs of your knees now. Exhale and melt and fold. Push off your feet, drop your hips, rise up. We're going to do some nerve glides across our hands here. So first, just press the walls away. Okay, imaginary walls on either side of you. There's so many different ways to do some nerve glides. We're just going to do the simplest way here. So open the chest, spread out your hands, and then exhale and bring your hands scoop to the chest. Open the chest, spread out the hands, and then relax. One more time. Spread out the hands, palms are wide. Now we're gonna lift one ear up, drop the shoulders, come back to center. Lift the other ear up, back to center. One more time each ear, one ear up, back to center. Other ear up, we're still pressing the wall away. And then relax. Shake out your hands. Okay, let them loosen. I'll come closer so you can see my fingers very clearly. Okay, so we're going to take index finger and thumbs together.
Take a deep breath, open the chest. Our elbows are going to try to stay in line with the shoulders, not come up. And we're going to try to keep our shoulders back in line with the shoulders as well instead of forward. So elbows and shoulders aligned. Lift your palms up toward the sky, pull your pinkies down, and then relax. Breathing well, stretching across the chest, pinkies down, and then relax. Twice more. Palms up, elbows back and down, and relax. One more time, palms up, pull the pinkies toward the floor, chest is broad, and then relax. Shake out the hands. Finding your breathing. Whoops, don't trip over your blocks. Okay. Arms up to the sky, open across your chest, cactus arms, and then release your hands again. Interlace your fingers behind your back, open across your sternum, and then bring your arms over your spine and away from your spine. It doesn't matter how far away they go, just go where they go. Shoulder blades come together, dangle your neck, and then release your arms down. Inhale for a halfway lift. Open the chest. Exhale and fold. Step your left foot back. Right foot is coming forward into a lunge. Find your breathing. Let's start moving. Straightening the front leg and bending the front knee. Back and forth you go. Opening the hip flexors of the back leg. Opening the hamstrings of the front leg. Just feeling yourself move. Waking up some new parts of the body. Now, before we rise up to a crescent lunge, ground yourself. Feel that your feet are supported by the earth. And then push off your feet to rise up. Bring your arms to anywhere that is supportive for your body. So crescent lunge, the heart is broad. Find your breath. Find the thoracic spine opening, no matter where your arms are, even if your hands are on your hips. Open across your chest, collarbones broad. Lift the heart. So have that challenge, accept that challenge to not let the injustices of the world dim your light. Breathing well. All right, release the hands down, hop up onto your right foot, half splits. Pump the leg in the air a couple of times so you turn on your glutes. And let's come up onto the tippy toe of your foot on the ground. Find your breath. And then heel back down, ground yourself. Tuck your knee behind your knee, a little bit of a squat, one-legged squat. And then push off your foot and lengthen again. Up onto your tippy toe. And then heel down, one-legged squat. Curl and use your core. Press that leg back. Place your left foot down onto the ground. Uttanasana. Change sides. Left foot now forward, right foot back. Come to a lunge. Open the chest, collarbones stay broad. Start to move here as you're ready. Straightening the front leg, bending the front leg. Breathing as you go. Go as fast as you want, go as slow as you want. Find all the little nooks and crannies that you're opening. Remember to stay in the rhythm of your breathing. Your breath is your metronome to help your practice be very focused, very meditative, keeping you present. Tether the mind to the breath. Ground yourself, otherwise you'll tip over like I'm tipping over. Ground yourself and then allow yourself to rise up. So this sense of yielding is so different. So feel yourself collapse. What would collapse feel like? And then use the earth to support you so that you can drop into the earth and rebound up. Feel that relationship with gravity and with the earth. Reach the arms to whatever place you want them to be. Chest is broad and free and open. Deep breaths here. Just open the arms if you feel like it. And place the hands down onto the ground. Hop up. I have blocks under my hands. Maybe you do too. If your hands are on the floor, make sure you're not rounding your spine so you can bend your knee as much as you need to. Pulse that leg in the air a few times to engage. Feel your glutes on both sides of your body. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Tuck knee behind the knee or next to the knee. Swirl in on yourself. Push off. Lengthen through your spine. Up onto your tippy toes here.
Find the breath. Exhale, heel down, tuck in. One more time, up onto your tippy toes. Find the breath, and then place that foot down next to the other foot, Uttanasana. Fold forward, drop your hips, rise up. If you're dizzy, squeeze to the midline, pause for a moment. Take a breath, cactus, open the arms. Feel the backside of your shoulder blades, and then exhale and round your chest forward. Release your hands down. Head, take your feet wide, at least hip width, maybe wider, and just start to open the thoracic spine with some spiraling, swing movements here. Feel free, you can drop in and bend the knee and lift up. Just let your body be free. So feel the twisting, the freedom that comes with your breath. Relax your shoulders. Try not to let your neck pull things up. All right, relax that. Turn sideways on your mat. Get your legs wider, and we're gonna kind of fall deeper into that same action. Arm up. Stretch the side body, squat down, other arm up. Breathing well. All right, stay in a low squat. Feel your elbows come inside your knees. Open up your hips. You can have your elbows on top or inside, whichever feels best. So open up the inner thighs here. Full breathing. And then rise all the way up. Turn your right foot out. Left foot can be turned in or straight. Uttanasana. Open up through your sides fully now. Ground through your back heel. Feel the length and space in your body. Shoulders are away from the ears. Ground through both feet. So are you evenly weighted in both of your legs? Are you evenly lengthening through your side ribs? Round the legs, reverse the warrior, reach that arm up. Find your breath. And then come up to stand. Pause here for a moment, 2 feet wide. Turn feet to the other side, left toes turn out. Right foot can be straight or turned in. Uttanasana on the side, elbow on your knee. Stretch the arm overhead. Perhaps your hand stays on your hip. Maybe your hand is out to the side. Come deeply into your legs. Feel your grounding. So drop into the earth with your feet. 4 corners. Feel the earth. Rebound through your body. So yield, push, and reach. Even side bodies. Even weight through your feet. Finding your breath. Relax your neck and shoulders. So we're not taking the toes up in the base of our skull. All right, reverse your warrior pose. Open the breath. And then come back to straighten the leg. Legs come back. Turn your toes out a little bit. Back to our deep squats. Lean forward here. Find the breath. Place your hands down onto the ground. Heel toe your feet in a little bit. Straighten your legs. A wide-legged stance. Turn back to the front of your mat. Spin to the front. Walk the hands forward. Walk the feet back. And come into dog pose. Breathing here. Yielding. So yield. And then push off your 4 feet and hands, 4 limbs. And extend and reach. So it's a yield, a push, and a reach. How does the breath move? Oh, we're going to come forward into a plank. Integrate the core of you. Shoulders away from the ears. Turn the belly to the left. Chest faces the floor. Back to center. Turn the belly to the right. Back to center. Put your knees down onto the ground if your body needs that support. Roll the shoulders a few times. Just feel the ease across your neck.
When you're ready, rise up, cobra pose, open chest. Exhale, and melt back down. Try one more. Open up the chest. Exhale, and relax. Now to have just a reminder that our core is supportive of us, put your hands underneath your forehead for a moment, so you have a spot for your nose, and lift your right leg without any core support. And notice the compression in your back. Lower that leg down. Engage your transverse abdominis. So feel the sense of pubic bone moving towards your belly button. Shrink wrap your belly a bit, and then lift that leg. There's a lot of resistance to the lift, but your back will not get compressed. So see if you can use support of your core to help you when we do back bending kind of guides. Try the other leg. No core support. Lift your leg up. In some ways it feels good because there's a lot of freedom. You can lift high, but notice what the back has to do to support this. And then lower that leg down. Find your core. It doesn't mean you're not letting the leg lift up. So you don't want so much core that you restrict mobility. You want stability. So use the core and lift that leg. Feel how the glutes have to work harder instead of just your back muscles. Breathing well. Exhale and melt to come back down. Curl your toes under. Lift your kneecaps up and spread your legs wider. Arms are back behind you now. Take a deep breath in. Lift legs. Lift chest. Triceps are engaged. Arms a little higher than spine. Breathe into the full engagement of the back of your body. Exhale, melt. Come up onto all fours and release all that. Swirl your hips around, move your shoulders, move your neck. Whatever feels good. And we're gonna bring our forearms down onto the ground. You have a choice here. You can put a block between your hands. You can have your hands facing each other. You can have your hands facing down. If when you come into a forearm plank and dolphin pose, which is what we're going to do, if you notice that you have a hard time keeping your elbows in line with your shoulders, if they want to splay out, try turning your hands toward each other. This will, and maybe using a block between your hands, this will help you keep externally rotated in the shoulder joint so that you're not rolling inward, keeping that heart open. All right, so hands down or hands toward each other, whichever feels good. And we're gonna come up to dolphin pose first. So lift the hips high, lift the shoulders. See if you can reach away from the earth. So yield, push, and reach. Relax your neck, lift the sit bones high, thigh bones back. It's okay to bend your knees if you need to. If you get stuck in this pose because of your hamstrings, bend your knees so you can really feel the length of your spine. Use your lats, hug your forearms toward each other to give some engagement to your serratus and your lats. Breathing well. And then let's walk your feet back and come into a forearm plank, integrating your core. Now, a lot of times when we're in a pose like this, we hunker the chest. We kind of collapse the collarbones on top of each other. See what you can do to broaden the collarbones out and keep the shoulder blades on the back. Maybe try turning your hands toward each other instead of your hands down on the ground. Integrate the front and the back of your body. Then lower yourself down, Sphinx pose. Arms are down, forearms are down, open your chest. Relax your neck. Breathing well. Exhale. And melt. Come up onto all fours. Move your spine around. Let that pose release. Inhale. Lift your left arm up in the air. Exhale. And slide that shoulder down. Open up through the thoracic spine. Breathe deeply here. Relax your head. Now, if you want to, when you come out of this pose, just square your shoulders toward the floor, stretch the outside of your shoulder capsule a little bit. All right, and then inhale and lift that arm all the way up to the sky again. Place the hand down onto the ground. Change sides. So left arm lifting, Exhale and slide that shoulder underneath, threading the needle, twisting the spine here. Thigh bones back. You can have a little bit more intensity if you press the left hand into the earth. But remember, we're yield, pushing, reaching here. We're breathing. We're not just pressing our bones into shapes. All right, slide out of there a little bit, face the floor. You can drop your tailbone down more like child's pose and stretch the outside of your shoulder capsule. Be very mindful to not go too far. All right, and then relax. Bring that arm all the way up to the sky. Place the hand down. Dog pose. If you're skipping dog poses, just stand up. We're about to do a couple more standing poses. When you're ready, right leg lifts, open up, stack, open the hip, just feel the freedom. Breathe deeply, squared up again. Place your foot forward into a lunge. Back heel comes down onto the ground. Rise up, Virabhadrasana 1. If it's comfortable for your body, tip your head back, interlace your fingers, and rise up through your chest. If that's too much pressure for your back, try leaning forward. Try bringing your arms out. Try putting your hands on your hips. Whatever's going to help you shine your heart light. So try not to collapse anywhere. And that means your low back too. Stabilize. Remember that pose we did on the floor. Ground through your back heel. Engage your core. Find your breathing. Exhale. Release your arms back. We're going to hop up onto one foot for Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. So you can have your arms back like I'm doing. Your arms can be out. Your arms can be forward. Your palms can be at your heart. Your hands can be on your hips. Square your chest, your hips to the floor. Lengthen through your spine. And then rise up, stand on that one leg, reaching the knee up in the air. Arms up to the sky, a simple, well, not so simple, but twisting to the left. Find the breath. And then release and put your foot down. That's a lot on one leg. So just notice, give yourself a moment to regroup, refine your presence. Deep breaths here. We'll do the three-legged dog at the end, so don't worry. We're just gonna step our left foot forward and our right heel down behind us. So Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. So you can lean forward in this pose. You can keep your hands on your hips. You can interlace and come into a more full thoracic back bend. Whatever you're doing, pay very close attention to your back and make sure you're stabilizing with your core and that you're yielding and grounding with your feet. Feel the feet move into the earth, push off of them, especially the back, well, both heels. Find the extension through your spine. Yield, push, and reach. And then release the hands wherever you're going to be for Virabhadrasana 3. Now remember, your Virabhadrasana 3 can look like this. You can just be tipped forward a teeny bit. You do not have to be parallel to the floor. So face the, you want your shoulders and your hips to be square to the floor, but you don't have to be parallel to the floor. So just be wherever you are, arms in whatever position you want them to be. If your arms are down on your sides, try turning your palms toward the floor or forward in front of you so that the heads of the arm bones move back. Enjoy the work here of your glutes. Use your core. And then as you're ready, stand on that leg, lift your knee. The standing leg, your left leg, take the thigh bone back and the hip in. Arms come up, soften the knee you're standing on. Yield, push, and reach through your crown. Twisting with your breath. Relax your shoulders. Unwind. 2 feet onto the ground. Arms up, open the chest. Exhale and float forward. Relax your head. Step back to dog pose. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Feel into the symmetry. Let's lift the left leg up in the air. Stack open that hip. Full breaths here. And then relax that foot down. Come forward into a plank. Holding yourself steady. Come down to the floor as you're ready. Put your arms like a cactus. Take a deep breath in. We're going to just do a few lifts here. So inhale, lift your back, lift your arms. Exhale, and then keep the back of the neck long. Rise up again. Exhale, and release. Now we're going to take our elbows a little lower, so down toward our hips. You don't have to hug them right to the sides, but down in that direction. Roll the shoulder blades down. Engage your legs, engage your core. Inhale, rise up. Shoulder blade tips moving down and in. Exhale. And no. One more in this position. Open across your chest. Use your core, use your legs, your glutes, the back body. Exhale. And no. Come up onto your hands and your knees and swish around. Let that spine free up. Full breathing. And come back towards child's pose for a minute. Just rest here. Feel the work of the back body. See if you can breathe. Now, yesterday we did this, and so you have two choices. We're going to do a lunge. I'll show you from the side. We're going to bring our right foot forward. Here, I'll bring my right foot forward, and your left foot back. Your left hand can be on the floor, or your left hand can be on a block. You're going to reach back with the right arm to grab the left foot, and if this is not available for your body, either because you can't put your knee well on the floor or your your quads are not quite loose enough for that, then you get to go onto your side for a moment, and we're just going to stretch our quadriceps here. So make a choice for which pose you want to do. We're stretching through the quads, but we're also stretching a little bit through the hip flexors. If you are on your foot and knee, hug in. Try not to let your body kind of splay out. You know, I want to stay integrated here. Breathing well, chest is open. Try not to collapse anywhere. And relax. We're going to come and just come to the other side. So if you're doing a quad stretch on your side, you're just going to switch sides. Otherwise, now we're going to put our left foot forward. Hand can be on a block or the floor. Sometimes a hand on a block is just enough to help you get into the posture. You can always wrap a strap around your foot as well if you're almost there. If it bothers your knee, you really want your weight to be forward of the kneecap on the bottom tip of your quadricep instead of right on your kneecap. So if you do this pose where you're at your right angles like this is going to be very painful for your knee. You need to be lunging a little bit more so that when you lift your foot up, your weight is resting above your kneecap, not on your kneecap. If that's not available, do the one on their side on the floor. Breathing well, collarbones stretch open and broaden. And then go ahead and relax and come out of the pose, child's pose again. Relax your hips, relax your quads. Breathing well. All right, back on tall floors. We're going to bring our right foot forward, hand on the inside edge of your foot. Curl your back toes under and lift into that deep runner's lunge. So sit bones come wide. Lift your back thigh. Notice if your chest is real hunkered. See if you can drop the shoulder blades like that back bend we just did. Broaden across your collarbones. If you need some height to do that, put your hands on blocks so that you have a little more space. Place your knee down, back to child's pose before we switch to do the other side. Left foot is coming forward, hands on the inside edge of your left foot with hands on floor or hands on blocks. You decide where you're going to be. Lift the back knee up off the floor. Wide suppones. Stretch across your chest. Right. And come into dog pose. Breathing well. Relax your head. And come down onto your shins. I'm gonna do camel pose. If you want to, you can have blocks next to you. This pose can be done with your hands on your hips. This pose can be done with your hands on your sacrum. So wherever you like to be to start, we're gonna just do a variation first before going back. So press your shins. Try not to push your pelvis way forward. See if you can stay stable. Open the chest. You're gonna keep your left hand on your hip or your back and reach the right arm up. Engage your core. And switch sides. Hand down, reach up. And then relax. Either onto all fours or sit back onto your heels for a moment. This next variation, we're going to take our hands either on blocks or on heels. So you can have your hands resting on blocks for this posture. You can also, if you want, you can tuck your feet under a piece of furniture and you can rest your hands on furniture, like a couch or something. There's so many ways to support a kneeling back bend. So you do you. You can also have your heels up, toes curled under, so there's a little extra height. So wherever you're finding, open up across your chest, let your head rest in the hammock of your trapezius, stabilize your core. So we're active in our glutes without crunching our butt cheeks together. So see if you can integrate your core and your glutes and your hamstrings so that nothing's overpowering the other. And then relax and melt. I know it's not everybody's favorite posture. Come onto all fours and move the cylinder of your torso, just like we did in the beginning. Go the other direction if you haven't yet. All right, so I know I said in the very beginning of doing online yoga 2 years ago, believe it or not, that I wouldn't do any super challenging poses online that really require having a teacher present to make sure you're kind of safe and doing what you do. But if you have a full wheel in your practice and you want to do a full wheel, you're very open and ready for it right now, so it's a good time to try. Otherwise, let's go ahead and come onto our belly and grab onto your feet. Now, if this is not available to you because your quads are a little snug up, then you're going to do a bridge pose instead. So your choice, those are your three choices: bridge pose, Dhanurasana, or Urdhva Dhanurasana. Take a deep breath in and lift up through your chest. Kick your feet back into your hands. Try not to let your knees splay out. Breathe. Open the heart. And exhale and relax. Hands underneath your head, windshield wiper your knees. So no matter what back bend you choose, it's really important to keep your core as a part of the pose so that you're not destabilizing the lumbar spine. It's such a vulnerable area of our body in back bends because we don't have a lot of other bony structure to support it. So we want to make sure that we're using our core in back bends. All right, let's go ahead and find our way onto our back. Rest here for a moment. Breathing well. If you have a strap, that's a nice thing. You don't have to, but if you do have it,
grab onto it and put our strap around your right foot. If you don't have a strap, just interlace behind your hamstring with your hands. Move the shoulders away from the ears. Start to feel the elongation of your spine. Let your left foot rest on the floor, even if you're used to putting it flat up, your whole leg flat on the ground. For right now, rest your foot so your back starts to be soothed. Move your right femur bone away from your shoulder and feel the length of your spine. Okay, let's cross the right leg over top the left thigh, over to the left side. You can hold the strap in your left hand or you can just hold your leg. So crossing right leg to the left. Get that leg back up. Now we're going to switch. So put the left foot in the strap, right foot is on the floor. If you're using your hands, just interlace behind your hamstring. So the goal here is to soothe the back. So we're feeling this elongation of the spine, the sense of the head of the femur bone moving into the backside of the hip joint. So we're not smushing our hip up toward our shoulder, we're moving our hip away from our shoulder. We're going to cross the left leg over to the right. You can hold the thigh or you can hold the strap on your foot, whichever you have. Great. Lift that leg straight back up again and put the right foot in your strap as well. If you don't have a strap, just hold both legs behind your hamstrings for a moment, breathing into the elongation of your spine. Especially if you have a strap, pull on the strap to get the weight of your femur bones to drop into the hips. Relax your legs, feet flat on the ground. Lift your hips up and scooch them to the right and bring your knees up and drop them left. Simple twisting. Remember that your chest is part of this pose, so open up across your chest. Breathing well. Up your knees. Scooch your hips over to the other side. Knees come up and drop them over to the side. Breathe your way into the chest opening as well. All right, and then come back up. Now you get to compress in like you probably want to. So either knees to chest or happy baby pose. Feel free to be still. Feel free to rock around. You can also bring your knees in and lift your chin up. Whatever feels good to round the back for a moment. And then rest your feet down. So you have a choice, either reverse pigeon pose or pigeon pose. So you have to decide how you want to be. And if you want support, feel free to take support. So, I love to use blankets for underneath my legs for pigeon pose. If you're in reverse pigeon pose, you're on your back and put your right foot on top of your left knee and draw your knee in. If you're in pigeon pose, your front leg is bent, your knee bent, pubic bone can be very close, or the heel can be very close to your pubic bone or pulled out a little bit. The back leg is stretched out behind you. All right, so find your way into this posture so that your hip can stretch open. Relax the back of your head. If you're in reverse pigeon, let the weight of your head come into the ground. And if you're in pigeon pose, Take something to support underneath your forehead, whether it's a block or your hands, something so that your body is supported, your head is supported.
Come on up and change sides. Now, perhaps you're doing one pose on one side and you need a different posture on the other side. So if you're on your back, your left foot is on top of your right knee, you're reaching back and grabbing, interlacing your fingers behind your right hamstring or the front of your right shin, resting your head on the floor. If you're in pigeon pose, support underneath your hip or your thigh with any kind of support of a blanket that you need. Extend the spine and then rest your head on something.
So I know many of you love this pose. I know many of you have a little bit of a love-hate with this pose. So try to get to a place where your joints are happy.
It's a little easier in reverse pigeon because you don't have gravity coming down on you in the same way. But in pigeon pose, just make sure your ankle, your knee, your hip, and your SI joint are all okay, that nothing's being tugged on too intensely, that you have some stability in your joint spaces, and that the sensation of the pose is really going into the belly of muscles instead of joints. Relax through your chest. Let yourself have a sense of ease. All right. You are ready to come out of your pose. Take your time. If you're like, oh, I just love this, then you get to stay a little bit longer. When you're ready, come onto your back and return just like you did in the beginning of class to that sense of opening your arms out to a T, feeling your chest broaden. Lifting your arms overhead, feeling your chest stay open. Moving your arms to a goalpost or a practice arms. And resting on the floor. Legs can be wherever you're walking through. As you prepare for Savasana, check in with yourself. Do you need a little support underneath your knees? Do you need some support under your back or your head? Are you comfortable? Would you rather put your legs up on a couch or a chair? Would you rather be on your side? So remember, Savasana is just the gift of rest. So find a position in your body where you feel most at rest. And just find that sense of feeling the support of the floor, so that deep quality of yielding now with your whole body
Can your whole body, as you settle, yield into the floor? The back of your head resting, shoulder blades, feeling the fullness of your arms. Melt your spine, feeling the weight of your pelvis. Heaviness of your legs. Stay inside the deep, full, soft breath. Let's begin deepening the breath. Invite movement, whatever Feels good in your body. Let's find our way onto our side. Once you're ready, come up to sit. Taking your time. Can we witness the injustices of the world and not allow it to consume our light, but rather offer your light, spread over the world with your light. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Hope you are well and have a beautiful day.